officers. I am at the moment I am posted in Puducherry, Government of Puducherry. I'm also acting as taking up as a role of Resident Commissioner of Government of Puducherry in Delhi near Sardar Patel, and also I'm having host of other departments in this government. So I welcome all the esteemed guests and dignitaries who are present in the room and in this hall conference, and deliberate upon the education policy, the new education policy of the government, which was floated in 2020. So when we go back to 2020, when we were grappling with the COVID, so government has accepted the recommendation of the Kasturi Ranjan Committee, which was formed in 2017 to give the various recommendations to increase the learning outcomes in the country. Now we have seen that it was 10+2 system, the system in which the theory was much separated with the practice. Now we have realized on the basis of various evaluation reports and the review of our education system is that we were not able to translate the academic degrees into the vocation, into the livelihoods, or into earning money, into some concrete returnable outcome or the earnings. So going by this method, the government has given some suggestions to the Kasturi Ranjan Committee that how the theory can be converted into the livelihoods or can be translated into the profession. And keeping this in mind, and also the technology which is really growing at an exponential speed, the Kasturi Ranjan Committee gave its recommendations to the government, and which was accepted in 2020 during the COVID time. Now, why this particular new education policy was accepted in 2020? Because since we were going through the lockdowns during the COVID time, and the government has realized that the students who were running the online classes and so many other things, everything has gone digital. So there must be some acceptability in the online platform, in the online digital space. So keeping this in mind, the government has really overhauled the education system of the country, and also keeping in mind that we should evaluate what our children learn at every stage. So therefore 5+3+3+4 system was has been replaced with by the 10+2 system, which was earlier in prevalence. Now initially what was happening is that the social science, the science streams, they were totally bifurcated with each other, and the practice also was held with the IIT, these IITs, which were the engineering colleges or the medical colleges. But now the system has been totally merged. Now the practice has been integrated with the theory, and now we are reviewing our education system and its learning outcomes at every stage, like after 5 years, after 3 years, then after again 3 years, then 4 years. So this is a really improvement over our previous system of 10+2. So one more outcome that we have realized with this education policy is that it is giving us the chance to the economy to build certain infrastructure to bring about social equity and justice in our economy. So because we are appreciating the initial five kindergarten system that the students will be spending the initial years of the life in 5 years. First of all, 3 years in kindergarten and 2 years in primary education. So this will give an opportunity to develop the infrastructure of the affordable care. Now, affordable care is a very good infrastructure. Our Anganwadis will be converted into the child care institutions, and therefore which will also give an opportunity to our working women so that they can leave their child behind for the constructive work, and they can also join the workforce. So this is one of the reasons to increase the women workforce participation in our country, which is really lagging and which is keeping stagnant at 20%, because there are internal and external barriers which have been faced by the women in joining the workforce despite having so much of academic qualifications. So this is one of the major steps. Now the other thing was that we have to recognize the online and digital certificates that we obtain, because all the students from the backward community, the tier 1 and tier 2 states, they are not having that much of wherewithal and the infrastructure available with them to go to the school daily, or the students who are from the backward communities or from the lower communities which are at the bottom of the pyramid, those students do not have this daily privileges to go to the school or to join an enterprise. So therefore, in that case, the government has given the recognition to the online degrees which have been that they can take those degrees and those degrees will be recognized. So this is one of the effort to bring about social justice and equity in our economy, in our country, in our society, so that we can empower the unprivileged and the underprivileged people of the society in weaker sections, and we can bring them to the mainstream of our society. So this is a very right step in a good direction, and which has given a lot of learning outcomes. Now, since I come from the place Puducherry, now Puducherry, as we all know, is the place where the pilot projects of Government of India are being run. So whenever a particular project or whenever a particular policy is launched in the Government of India, it is first of all implemented in the Puducherry, in UT of Puducherry, to see the impact and evaluation and to see the feedback and the outcomes of that particular policy. So the same happened with the new education policy also. It was firstly floated. Puducherry was among the 20 states and UTs where the new national education policy was implemented. So likewise, out of the outcomes that we have seen is that during the COVID, where we had lost the learning outcomes, now after 2024, when we had again reviewed it in our national review outcomes report, it has been seen that due to our national education policy, we have been able to retrieve the loss outcomes, the learning loss outcomes that we had experienced during the COVID time. Now, since students have not attended the school, their learning outcomes in mathematics, in numeracy, in language, all of that has receded. But therefore, because of this new education policy, we have seen that it has driven the learning outcomes and the education growth in our country. So, therefore, this was the first successful record of our national education policy that we have recorded. Now, since I come from South India, there has been a lot of cry about the multilingual system which has been integrated by this new education, which has been directed and suggested by this new education policy. So now this what we have learned, then when a student is learning different languages, I think 5 languages are listed in this new education policy. So when the student is learning different languages, as per the neurological report, the neurons in the brain of a child increasing, it becomes more flexible and resilient. And also we have seen that the prefrontal cortex of the brain of the child is more prone towards innovation and creativity and towards creating more and more solutions. So therefore, new education policy is promoting creativity, innovative solutions, but we have seen that there has been a patchy development in terms of its impact in terms of learning outcomes. The southern states have fared well, whereas northern states have much catching up to do. But still, we are on the cusp of true transformational and to bringing about true transitional change in the society, so that we can translate our academic qualifications into the professional outcomes and earnings. Now, one last thing that I would like to mention here is that this particular policy has also implemented the internship and apprenticeship and the practical assignments that we used to take. Now, we were taking these assignments only when we were in PhD or we were in university or in the higher education. But now, these kind of vocational assignment, the practical assignment, the internship, the apprenticeship, the bridge assignments are being even done at the school level, at the stage of primary and at the stage of 6th standard or 8th standard. So this is a very impactful, and the students really have the experience and the expertise as to what is going on in the workplace. And this is also one of the practical solutions, so that we can bring some coordination with the academia and with the industry, as we have seen that there has been a lot of gap between the academia, the expectations with the academia own and the expectations which we have joined the industry while we have run a degree. So this is about the crossing the bridge, is providing the bridge between academia and industry. Now, one thing is that this is also a step forward towards our global integration, so that we integrate ourselves with what is the curriculum which is there and practiced in the foreign universities. So this new education policy is also a step ahead, so that we can integrate ourselves with the globalization, we can integrate ourselves and we can merge with the foreign universities, but all we have to take degrees. Now, so much of digital learning is taking place, so much of digital infrastructure is taking place. The style of pedagogical exercise, which was exercised by our teachers, has totally changed. Now, there has been certain hurdles and competitions which we are confronting, the challenges that we are confronting while we are implementing the national education policy. The first challenge is about the infrastructure. The infrastructure that we have to build in terms of Anganwadis, we have to update our Anganwadis. The infrastructure that we have to build in terms of making our classrooms more smart, to bring more AI-driven education, bring more digital learning into our classroom. And then one of the most challenging in which this new education policy has thrown on us is about training our teachers, which is very, very critical. Now the teaching is no more as it used to take place before. It has now changed. Now the teacher is not asking the student about the information, it is teaching information. Information is available in plenty in the internet, which is all around us, in terms of Google search, in terms of any kind of apps and services. The information is not, there is no dearth of any information. But how to utilize what are the practical aspects and how to do critical thinking with that information is the challenge. And the teacher is no more asking the students that you have to, this is thing and you have to do the learn, you have to learn it, you have to do rote learning, and then you have to reproduce the same thing in the exam. The rote learning system, we have done away with that system, and now the student is expected to know the information and has to give suggestions, has to critically see, ask questions, and to suggest some kind of improvements over the previous one. So this kind of pedagogy style, which our teachers have to learn, is really very transformational. But the teachers' training is really a challenge, as we see the basis of the foundation of the country depends upon how well versed our teacher is. So this is one of the challenges we are tiding on those challenges the new education policy has thrown upon us. And now one more thing is that the new education policy is at this time, since the targets are till 2035, but still we have not figured out when it comes to higher education. We have to become multidisciplinary higher education, and we have to promote so many authorities and so many commissions which have yet to take place. So this new education policy is more about school education, and higher education is yet to come, and it has to be yet to be figured out in the government in the form of plan policy, and the clear guidelines are yet to be spread out by the government, and slowly and gradually, depending upon the evolution and the advancement of our higher education learning system. So this was my critical analysis, and also about some kind of suggestions about the new education policy, that what we have done, how we have reformed our education, our country, so that we can leapfrog ahead and face the challenges which are thrown on us by the AI. So I congratulate the organizers of 9+C, Mr. and have invited me here in the inaugural session as a special speaker to give the address and also to discuss and deliberate on the education system of our country. And also I thank all the esteemed dignitaries and the audience which is present in the room, the various exhibitions which are installed outside, and all the products and services which they have done, which they have launched in their exhibition, which I will also inspect and I will also see and also learn from them. And deliberation and discussion are still going on, I guess, and I am ready to take any query or any questions regarding the education. Thank you so much, and thank you for the patience listening.